Our first inflation practice problem set, 1A, this is kind of the first half of it, the second half's on the back page, is an economy is at full employment. Okay, draw a correctly labeled graph of ADAS, that should be easy, and then illustrate cost push inflation. So we have to remember what that is. So first, output and price levels, and it tells us that we're at the full employment level, or the long run equilibrium. So we're going to have LRAS, I made that mistake already, aggregate demand, and short run aggregate supply. And we are right here at this full employment, and we'll say that's like PL star. So we are here at YF and PL star, and then there's cost push inflation. So this is going to remember that SRAS is going to decrease, and that's what's going to push inflation. If we say SRAS2, that will push inflation up to PL2, and so now we have cost push inflation. Identify one possible cost or cause of the cost push inflation. Well, maybe there is a resource shock. Maybe there's resources that decrease, right? Maybe we have too few resources. Maybe the productivity of our firms begins to suffer because of a virus spreading or something like that. Maybe there's increased inflationary expectations. For some reason, people begin to go to their bosses and demand higher wages and that kind of thing. So, question 2 is a multiple choice along with 3. In the classical model of the price level, we would actually say, and this is kind of a difficult question, we'd say that both of the aggregate supply curves are vertical. And that's the idea that in the classical model, you really only have one aggregate supply curve, and it looks like this. It's just LRAS, and that's the same as the short run, and then you have aggregate demand. And so the classical model says all the prices of the inputs are flexible, and so you don't have a short run aggregate supply curve that's upward sloping. These two are the same thing. Now, the third problem in inflation tax. This is a tough one. It goes back to the last lecture. Imposed by governments to offset price increases. No, because it's not really imposed. Paid directly as a percentage of the sale price on purchases. No, it's not paid, actually. The result of a decrease in the value of money held by the public. That's going to be true. Let's check out the other answers. Generally levied by states. No, it's not actually levied by anybody. So no. Higher during periods of low inflation. No, it's higher during periods of high. So the correct answer is C. It's the result of higher prices, which is what this is really saying, the decrease in the value of money held by the public. Okay, now the last part is part B. This is where we go back to the Phillips curve a little bit. Draw the Phillips curve for each model, and label the current level of output as point A. Okay, so this is practice doing the Phillips curve. Now, many of you, I know, having seen you in class, the labels matter. UE percent, PL percent. If you leave off that percent, you get the whole thing wrong, because it's not the raw number of unemployed, it's not the raw number of price level, it's actually the percentage of those values. So we're going to start with that. UE percent. You can also say rate, I should say. You can also say rate. So then we need an LRPC, the long run Phillips curve, indicating that those two aren't really related in the long run, and in the short run that they are related, And then, now we're ready for this, economy is below full employment. So where is a recession? Well, it's low prices and high unemployment, so we'd put point A. And then economy is above full employment. That means we're in expansion, so we're going to have high prices up here, high prices here, and low unemployment. Now, what fiscal policy would remedy this gap, a recession? Well, we could cut taxes or government spending increase. And for this, we could raise taxes or cut government spending. Assume the policy closes the gap, show the effect, label as point B. So if they close the gap, then we are right back at equilibrium, point B. Thank you. I'll see you next time.